Back in the booth, yeah, we cooking the flame. Boys with the heat, remember that name. Season 3 Savage, no hole in his back. We dropping these takes like a bomb in Iraq. The sports on table, we keeping it raw. Talking that talk, no breaking the law. Package the brains, we cover it all. Fantasy ball, man, we making the call. Charles beyond chaos, that guy. Bring that smoke, no need to deny. 3 years on the market, we still go live. Podcast kings, we destined to thrive.
Coming at you like a cobra in the dark, hands down. Harder than your ex-girlfriend catching you with your pants down. Louder than the thunder when it's ripping through the sky. Season 3 is here, better open up your eyes.
We got athletes all up in the mix. All our boys, we stacking the bricks.
Hey. Hey, I remember when they said we wouldn't pop.
Remember that name? Season 3 Savage, no hole in his back. We dropping.
It just keeps on fucking rolling through. I love it. You're just over there like cheesing. I have no fucking clue what's going on. Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
You know what the best part about doing the intro is? I've got a stream deck now, and I just push the button.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the logo over it, the picture, so I can see. I haven't figured out the whole keys
It's
yet.
not muscle memory yet.
Yeah. So I'm just pushing buttons over here like a little kid in a candy store trying to pick stuff. Fucking not working out for me. Still trying to get over that cold anyway. It's fine because Mandy's still got the cough and she's going to the doctor and trying to get some cough medicine anyway. So it works out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do a hurt game later on.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. Don't worry, Wisconsin herd. We'll get down to see you. But in the meantime, this week we still have Ancient Aliens. Big storm coming in, but we've got Ancient Aliens Wednesday.
I think you'd be okay. I think we're just going to mostly rain.
It'll be mostly rain. It should be rain until way late.
Fuck it, man. You got the Subaru, so you're good.
With BlizzX tires as well. You don't take those winter tires off until after March up here in the Midwest. Don't fuck around and find out. Because you're going to find out. And you just be on the 511 all the time. You're just going to find out.
There's a lot of those fucking soccer moms out there in the minivans driving like crazy bitches.
Just in the crazy. And when those storms come rolling in, they don't come get you.
No.
I mean, a courtesy vehicle comes and picks you up and brings you home, I think.
Beep, beep.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not dumb enough to leave my fucking house.
That's right.
And drive 90 miles an hour if I have to leave the house, right? Oh, what about an emergency? I'm not going to drive 90.
I don't care if I'm leaving 10 minutes. That was the old lady too. She's like, it's shitty outside. We're not going anywhere today. I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I love those days. I used to hate naps.
Yeah.
Now I play nap roulette. You know what nap roulette is? You just close your eyes. You wake up when you wake up. Sometimes it's 45 minutes. Sometimes it's 6 hours.
Yeah.
People are like, bro, 6 hours? That's not a nap. That's a night's sleep. Not when it's in the fucking daytime, bro. That's called a nap. Unless you work third shift, then you just close the curtains and go to sleep. I mean, I did hear that.
Being a fucking vampire.
I did hear that taking a 1 hour nap is like the equivalent of 3 hours of REM sleep or some shit like that.
Oh, really?
Like taking an hour nap in the daytime.
So it's like a little power snooze.
Someone's in the comment section is gonna be like, you shouldn't take any more than a 20-minute nap. You know what? There was a Japanese doctor. I live my life by this. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
There was a Japanese doctor. And he was asked the question to longevity. And his answer was pretty simple. Your heart only has so many beats. There's a mark somewhere, something in some universal plane somewhere, whatever you want to call it, that has your death date on it. And so the best way to extend that would to be lowering your heart rate. And one of the best ways to lower your heart rate is to take a nap. So if you want to live a long time, take more naps. Or you could be like those other perverts who say whack off. It adds like 7 minutes to your life. So
I don't think that's entirely possible. But that math isn't mathing. But I'm
gonna live fucking forever, bro.
Exactly. Like I just between the sheets, just fucking adding time.
It's 12 to 16. There was a lot of not nap time, but
it wasn't nap. Mom might have thought it was nap time, but it wasn't nap time. Yeah.
But like now in my 30s, like there's a lot of naps.
Yeah.
I love my naps. So
You just fall asleep in the chair every now and then, especially like a Sunday when there's not a whole lot going on. Not so much now because tournament time's coming, but
yeah,
like your Sunday naps or your Saturday afternoon or hell, even in the middle of the day.
I, it,
Screw it.
anywhere between 11 and 3 p.m.
Sure.
I could take a
Yeah.
nap.
Those are your
I
dead times. Yeah.
5:30 p.m. I've taken a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. At that moment, you're like, whoa.
Speaking of taking naps, Charles,
I
you
just,
have some fun facts about taking naps and crazy things happening.
oh, people dying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Did we want to start with yours first?
We could talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk
So
about that briefly. And I'll pull up the list.
so we were on this big conspiracy plunge, I guess you want to call it. Like we're really diving into it. Charles and I figured out that there's lots of portals out there if you want to venture out and try to find some cool places around the world. But the oldest conspiracy theory that we know of, as far as aliens are concerned, it actually goes back to the first astronaut mission back up into space.
I'm just doing research, Bing. I'm fine.
Oh yeah.
Top 10 weirdest ways to die.
Oh yes. Bing.
Immediately, bro, it's you're not alone. Help is available. 988. Suicide and crisis lifeline.
That's you're like that's not what I was thinking.
No, like I'm doing research. Like I'm happy. All right.
I'm gonna get into it too. Searching the Apollo moon landing being faked with extraterrestrial contact. So apparently, think we never landed back in '69. Instead, the entire event was staged by the U.S. government to hide the fact that we discovered alien life and technology on the lunar surface. Yada yada yada. Yeah, back in the '70s, they came out and they actually. It was Buzz Aldrin, a couple other guys, Neil Armstrong. They went out and they actually did a couple interviews, and they were asked some very specific questions according to the interviewers. And one of them was strange sounds, or we saw this video, or we saw these crazy things happening in the background. Yes, we can't talk about that. That would have compromised the mission. Why, if it was an exploratory mission, why would it have compromised the mission? There are certain things that you just don't speak of, certain sounds. And guess what, Charles? I'm sure you know this. Matter of fact, you're probably the one that told me this and reiterated it over time. There is no sound in space.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
what was the gong, gong? That was the noise that I believe they were hearing on the space mission right now.
So the non-conspiracy theorist side of this
Yes.
is that this was one of our first times in space as the human race in materials.
This was the space race. Yeah.
Yeah, materials that we utilized and still utilize for cars and shit. Like the technology in your pocket is
more
greater
advanced.
and more advanced than that of the technology that put man on the moon and brought him home.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Incredible.
Crazy. Yeah, no,
Crazy.
it deserves its own word. It is in crazy. Absolutely.
Been crazy.
So with that being said, those noises could have just simply been metal warping in the extreme environment that is space.
That is what one of the suggestions was. It was extrusion metal shrinking, popping, as obviously the compression on the forces on the outside of the shuttle, and you're hearing it internally. That was one of the reasons, obviously. The other crazy one is the things that they saw, I think, are the ones that are just unexplainable. The lights, the orbs that they said they saw, and something about a reflection and there being a shadow, and something casting a large enough shadow that it encased the entire shuttle when they were in it, and it went dark. And they were like, it shouldn't have been that dark at that particular time because of the way the moon phase was. It shouldn't have went dark, and it went dark for 5-10 minutes, they said. And obviously you've got such a small window, you can't just look out and go, oh, I wonder what that was.
Yeah, sorry. You got me talking about space and warping metal, and I'm like, wait a minute, did they use aerogel at that time? Do you know what aerogel is?
Is that
aerogel is a gel that's 99.9% air, but it's like gel, and they use it as an insulator for the space shuttles. But anywho, aerogel was invented in 1931, so yes, they had aerogel at that time, so they were using aerogel. Yeah. It's still considered cutting edge. It was invented, what was it? That was, let's see. Yeah, Aerogel was created in 1931 by Samuel Stevens Kistler. He developed it as part of a bet with a colleague to replace the liquid in a gel with gas without causing shrinkage,
It's just
creating Aerogel.
it's just cool if you look it up. Like the company actually turned into a solar core, all kinds of other different products they made for space that people use space technology to
Yeah.
this day. I think the
I was
sleeps.
watching
Yeah.
Star Talk with
Oh, Neil
Neil.
deGrasse Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah. And he owns like this cube container of Aerogel. He pulls it out for some people if they actually bring it up or talk about it. You get to put it in your hands and shit. I think it was the episode with the Mythbusters guy. And
Oh, nice.
so,
Yeah.
definitely worth looking into. But anyway, so to continue on with your story.
Charles, it says request a sample from Solar Core of some Astrogel, and then it says put in your credentials. Should I just put in podcast host?
Do it.
Let's
Do
see if
it,
we
yeah.
see if we get our hands on some. I think we might get on some kind of list. I think if
maybe we'll get on a list.
All right,
Worst case scenario, bro, we get an email that says, "Sorry, you're not who we're looking for." Then I'll go shave half my beard. No, if I'm going to do that, I'm probably going to do it. We'll probably have to go to one of those St. Baldrick's events up in Green Bay. And I'll shave my beard for cancer.
Yeah, I do believe. Shit! Right, we get government purpose.
Yeah, as I said, it's
government purpose, government purpose, government or commercial. Oh man, tell us about your.
Commercial.
About your project. All right, I'm doing this live, everybody. I would like to get some gel to
a small sample for the show.
All right, a small sample to showcase it and its properties on the podcast.
A 1 centimeter cube. A 1 centimeter cube is like all we're asking for. How cool would that? It looks so fucking cool. It really does. You would never be able to open that though.
Awesome. Future installation. Thank you for your inquiry.
Maybe somebody will reach out to us.
Somebody will contact us. All right.
Who knows? That would be cool. That'd be so
Aerogel
awesome.
Some Solar Core technology.
Who would have thought you'd be thinking about Aerogel today, peeps? Nope. If you don't know, if you're listening, you don't know what Aerogel is, please go look it up. It's what is it? Aerogel.
Correct.
And Kistler. Man, that's one hell of a name. He's done a lot more, but we're not on to that. Stephen Kistler. What else has he done? Samuel Stevens Kistler. That's funny. But anywho, noises in space. Yeah, there was a recent Ancient Aliens. Watched quite a bit of that. Old Buzzboy was on Ancient Aliens there for a bit, and he had talked about how on their way to the moon, they had seen what at first they thought was maybe a star, but it was moving way too fast and getting closer. And there was an option to either go check it out or continue to go to the moon. And why would they go check out a light when they were on their way to the moon? Was more or less how he said it. In regards to the conspiracy theorist of the fake moon landing, the thing I've thought for a very long time is that we made it to space, but something took us from the moon.
Well,
which made us fake the moon portion of space.
That is what the root of the entire rumor was, is that they made it there. They were about to land. They got to the far side of the moon and they discovered they discovered something that obviously made them turn around and then ended up faking the rest of it because they were like, F that, we ain't stopping over there and going to hang out with these.
There's been said something about lost civilization living on the dark side of the moon. It's very possible the overseers live on the opposite side of that moon. But China did just send a satellite or a probe from the dark side of the moon and brought back a buttload of material from it. So not that us here in America is really going to know much about that per se, but Elon Musk has his fingers all over space. So we'll know because he knows.
I'm trying to get the transcript that was released in 2008 of the audio, and then we would read it back and forth between the two of us. But Apparently, it's on YouTube and it must be copyrighted, and we can't. We'll find it one day. One of these days.
We'll find it one day. I guess the JFK files are finally coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow we get to dig into those. We'll try to find some goodies in there.
Yep. So in the meantime, the internet's being very touchy. And what I mean by that is the list I had originally, we'll have to try and get it back. I do have a couple more lists.
Well, apparently, it wants you to seek help.
Apparently, it wants me to seek help. I've been looking up way too many ways to die over the last couple of weeks. For those who are like, I found out that you could die from eating 7,100 pepperonis in one sitting. But you're not dying from the pepperonis, you're dying from the salt overdose.
What do you?
That's like LSAT. LD50 or some shit like that.
What do you think the Guinness Book of World Records is for most pepperonis eaten? Because obviously it can't be that many.
No, that's 33 pounds.
I'm gonna look it up. How many?
So while you're looking that up, in 1932 in Australia, humans literally declared war on emus. Were you aware of this?
Yeah, I remember hearing about this. It was Australia, right? Or
Australia, yeah. And the emus won.
Yeah.
What? I guess you would just have to be there, right?
Charles, you're going to be very impressed by this. There isn't a specific Guinness World Record for most pepperonis eaten in one sitting in terms of weight or quantity of pepperoni. We could set this record on the show one of these days, probably because you'll the fastest time to eat a 12-inch pizza.
There was an episode. Something is coming to mind on the top 10 dumbest of, or maybe it wasn't the top 10 dumbest, but top 10 most shocking, and it was. Yeah, it wasn't the dumbest. It was most shocking, by the way, because I remember it clearly now. But anywho, it was a radio contest to see who could drink the most water without going pee.
Oh, really? So it was like
and this lady did it for 6 hours or 5 hours or some shit, and then went home and died. Yeah,
that's it. That seems like a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Kind of like eating the pepperoni thing, because somebody would take it way too freaking far,
way too seriously. Yeah.
This is just fun.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I don't think
the new show coming out on National Geographic by David Blaine called "Don't Do This."
That's probably a good idea. There's probably a reason for it.
They have warning labels on plastic bags for you to not put them over your head.
Yeah,
people still fucking do that. You think they're gonna read the title of that and go, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not supposed to do this." Somebody is definitely setting themselves on fire and jumping off of a bridge. David Blaine. For
fuck's sake, the Tide Pods had caustic chemical warnings on the back of them, and people were still sticking those in their mouths. Like,
yes,
you cannot fix.
And then somebody tried to sue Tide over that.
Yeah,
you made them look inviting. What the is wrong with you?
I don't think I ever looked at one and said, "Man, you know what that would go good with? My stomach."
Growing up, you watch fucking A Christmas Story and putting soap in your mouth, you get soap blindness. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows you can get soap blindness. Jesus.
We did growing up in the 80s. We were told all kinds of things when we grew up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we also came from the generation though that ate like
I've had many bars of soap in my mouth for sure.
Yeah, we had kids that eat paste, that glue. Remember the kids that would put the glue on their hands?
Yeah, bro, but they ended up in like their own classroom.
Yeah, they did. They ended up in their own school towards the end.
Yeah, like these Tide Pod motherfuckers were like your everyday Jack and Jane.
That's true.
That was weird.
It was
very weird. They look like them emus.
Yeah, but they won though.
Every one of them looks like they were trying to recreate the flock of seagulls look without all the hairspray.
So the emus aren't the ostriches are the ones that shoved their heads in the sand, like for the cartoons or whatever.
Yeah,
the emus were the ones that like literally got those giant claws on their.
I'm just the poofy little fucking hair on their forehead. That's a little poof stick.
They're freaking tough too. Apparently they could beat some shit up. Like, I don't know, 80, 100-pound bird. I don't know. A turkey's tough as hell. We say this until you have 30 of those things running at you, and then you're like, shit.
Okay, let's just walk down. Let's walk down this path.
We already did the 5th grade. How many emus, Charles, could you take out?
Hold on. Where are we and why are we there?
All right, we are...
Oh, wait, you just want me to fight an emu with my bare hand?
No, I'm saying you said that they overran them, so that means there had been multiples. Let's just put it in perspective of they lost the war with the emus. What do you
They
think?
declared war on. That's what I'm saying.
What
You
do you
ain't got
think
no
happened
guns.
here? Yeah, I guess they had guns, but even with guns, they lost. Like
That's what.
tanks, they had. That's crazy.
No, they're just dumb. You don't
That's
lose.
true.
You give me one tank.
That's not the army that I want
No, you
fighting
give
a
me.
war for me.
You give me. I've never drove a tank in my life. I'm boots on
Okay,
the ground. But you give me one fucking tank. I kill every fucking emu on that island.
everyone on the
Every
island.
fucking one on that island.
There's no more Tasmanian
There's not
devils.
one
You're just running
fucking
over
emu.
fucking
No, no,
everything.
there's not one. Because when I run out of shells, I got the 50 cal. When I run out of 50 cal, I'm just driving.
Didn't they also declare war on like the kangaroos or yeah, something like the red kangaroos too? They lost that war. So Australia's if you're 0 for 2 in wars versus animals, that doesn't bode well for the safety of your country. I'm just gonna say that.
No,
Just putting that out there.
pretty much if you're, this is probably coming at a bad time, but if you're not America, you just get your ass kicked.
Yeah, if you
Period.
don't, yeah, there's a reason why we've got,
Back
you
to
know,
back.
yeah,
That's why that title was so important to me, bro.
it's so important.
You know who else gets to call themselves back to back?
Yeah, you and Paul,
America.
you and Paul.
America. America gets to call herself back to back. She is. She's back to back world war champ. Come at us. So, anywho,
So how many though? How many do you think you could take out?
with my bare hands, or do I get a tank?
If I give you the tank, I already know the outcome because I know
All of them.
you're running. Yeah,
All of them.
bare hands. I'm thinking until you get exhausted. I'm thinking I don't think one of them's getting you.
Okay, just so I can hold a little bit of credibility on this show for these moments. If I had to fight emus with my bare hands, I would probably get through 30,
I was gonna
maybe
say
50 before I
I was
died.
gonna say that. I was gonna say, but you
Let's
freaking
be honest, one. I
I'm
get through
my
one.
ass is hopping on the back of one of them and riding that fucker and just
I would.
taking
I'd
him out with a fucking stick.
give it a run for its money.
Yeah,
But
I'm riding that
probably
thing like a
one.
little baby T-Rex
Yeah,
all over the place.
emus are pretty fucking crazy. But
Yeah,
they're not like the ostrich,
no,
which we found out in Jumanji, the next chapter.
tough bastards.
They're tough. But an emu,
All right, I'm gonna get a little size comparison because I don't entirely know. I know I've seen them before.
I know I've seen them. We've been to a zoo, right?
All right, so they're 4.9 to 6.2 feet tall. They weigh at 66 to 121 pounds. Damn. Damn. Uh, I think what it is there's an intimidation factor. Once you get through the first couple, it's all over after that.
Oh my god, no matter how I ask this question, Bing is telling me I'm not alone.
What is
Fucking
that?
mental health.
What is this?
All right. Now, okay, so I can only give you the one because it's the one I fucking remember, and the internet is not helping me, which is my fucking fault. I should have picked it out. But anywho, when we
Charles?
ended that episode, we had stated that how many people in the United States die each year from falling out of bed. And the number on that was 450. I do remember one more, and I don't know if I should say it, but I guess I have to now. 600 people die each year from, what's that, autoerotica
Yeah,
asphyxiation?
the old
Yeah, where you like choke yourself and wank it. Yeah,
talk about irony. Like you didn't add
600
7
people a
minutes to
year.
your life. You added 7 minutes and then took it away from yourself.
Took it all away. All the
So
naps.
so check it out though. How many emus do you think died in the war?
7.
986 in the war of 1932.
How many
Emu War.
humans?
I don't see casualties for humans, but I do know that during the years of 1945 to 1960, they killed 284,700 emus, and they still lost the war. Talk about fucking crazy. How many of them fucking things was there? There had to
No
have been.
human casualties. There were no human casualties. Only 986 of the roughly 20,000 emus killed and 9,860 bullets had been used up, with an exact 10-to-1 ratio of bullets to dead emu.
That is
The
terrible.
soldiers and the government were rightly embarrassed by the whole event and refused to repeat the experiment in later years.
Wait a minute. They thought this was an experiment? Yeah, it definitely was an experiment if you went 1 for 10.
The unsuccessful attempt to curb the emu population employed Royal Australian Artillery soldiers armed with Lewis guns, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. Although many birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction.
Damn, Charles, you check that fucker out?
What, an emu?
No, the Lewis gun.
Oh.
Look at that. Look it up, dude. It's cool as hell.
All right.
Wait till you see this giant cannon of a gun.
Oh, Jesus. What the fuck?
They were using those things on the ground trying to mow the emus down, and they still couldn't do it.
First World War era light machine gun.
Yeah.
Well, they were killing 10 emus with one bullet.
Oh, no, I thought it was 10-to-1. Thought it was 10 bullets for one emu. Thought it was 10,000 rounds, and they killed 900.
Oh,
yeah.
They're dumb.
But either way, they're terrible shots. But I guess probably the machine guns and that back then weren't very accurate, so I guess we can't really be too harsh on them.
Oh, no, we can be.
We could be harsh
They
on
declared war on emus.
Here's the thing. Why would you not go get sharpshooters? Snipers, get your best out there. This definitely was just...
I would have just called Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, fucker would have came out there with a Bowie knife and freaking probably got himself at least 10, 15 of them bastards.
That's not a knife.
That's
a knife.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. This has been a fantastic offseason. I'm bummed that I get it. Mental health and everything, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know when I'll be able to look up top 10 ways to die again, or
I understand
least likely ways to die.
The Bing is just looking out for you.
I get it. So instead of being upset about it, I guess the end of this episode, we are here to remind everyone that the suicide hotline 988 works for veterans, everyone. Just you call that number if you need to talk. Reach out to us if you need to talk. Maybe this was an internet sign that we need to tell our listeners that we care about them. We love them, and you guys are awesome. You gals, you things, whatever the hell you are, big feet, big foots, little feets. We love y'all. The world's a crazy place, but it's only as crazy as you let it be, right? So maybe turn off the news if you can't ascertain the differences between reality and opinion, and just go out there and touch grass. Grass is always great. And up here in the north, we're getting it back. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, saw a little bit of it today.
Yep, should be green here in a few weeks. That'll be nice. Ancient Aliens, and then we've got the draft coming up. So we'll be taking you guys with us to the draft. We hope to see you all there.
We got a busy month.
We got a handful of live shows for that. If you can't make it to the draft, you can join us on probably the Gram or Facebook or YouTube, or probably all of them. Who knows? We're magical. That's how that shit happens. And Patrick works in some fucking awesome ways when that shit comes into play. Patrick, you got anything else you want to add?
No, get ready for Thursday episode. We will dig into the NCAA tournament, more NFL news, and some draft information. We'll start ranking our drafts.
And I'll recap at the end of the show my ancient alien experience.
Yes, ancient alien experience.
Excuse me. Yeah, so at the end of the show, I will recap my ancient alien experience. So make y'all have to suffer through that one or catch it in the reels later. But in the meantime, take care of yourself. I'd like to see you here tomorrow.
Charts when you hear WH, know we came to spar. Fuck all the dollars, we grind, put in the time. Y'all just talk, but we live. This the heat to provide. We got Wars with the heat. Tat in the game, mics on blast. Every take got flames from the Midwest grind to the world we reign. When you hear this crew, better know the name. I got one thing to say to the ones who hate. If you ain't built for the fire and stay out the flame, from the sports talk kings to the ones who dream, you ain't never gonna stop what we got.